Lots of clouds today, and it seems like it's drizzling a little bit in certain areas. Hopefully it doesn't start pouring. Didn't get my flight in yet too. And what I read today, talk about things like drone flights. This is kind of interesting. As you know, there's a lot of people worried about authority figures like police using drones. But how about this one, where apparently this police department here, the Wichita Police Department, is releasing their drone operations publicly online, which is kind of interesting to think about. This one here, they write, the Wichita Police Department is taking transparency and community safety to the next level. We're proud to introduce our brand new interactive drone transparency dashboard, now live for public access. So by the looks of it, this is just the regular dashboard for people to use, for example, Skydio's platform, and you could literally just log in there and see exactly which operations they're doing with the drone. It says, this innovative tool gives you a near real-time look at our drone operations, helping keep our neighborhoods safer while building trust through openness. You can see where drones are being deployed, view flight data, and learn how this technology is helping reduce crime and improve emergency response times. We believe that technology and transparency go hand in hand when it comes to protecting our community. This dashboard is just one more way we're working to ensure a safer, more connected Wichita. So I did take a look at it, and as I mentioned, it looks like any other dashboard that you'd use personally in terms of your operations, keeping track of them. So you can see, for example, things like the flight paths that they're taking, as well as a description of what they're doing. For example, there's a category here saying crime scene photography and documentation. And as well, the other one that was kind of interesting was there's one that says training. And when you look at one of them, it looked like they just flew kind of in a circle of sort around a school, a Curtis Middle School. And it made me wonder, are people okay with that? Police drones flying over people per se, over schools and all that? Because as you know, a lot of people fear-monger drones in general where they don't even want recreational people to do it. So are people okay with like these drones flying around like kids, for example, above their heads? What kind of safeguards do they have in terms of, for example, if something actually happened, like the drone fell or something like that? So it is interesting overall in terms of showing transparency. I do wonder though, if a criminal sees that, doesn't that help them determine, okay, well, here's the drone, we better avoid this. But at the same time, they do say it's quote near real time. So who knows, maybe they do have ways to actually cloak the drone from being displayed on this as well. So what would you think here? Would you be okay with police officials, for example, using drones if they put stuff out like this for people to actually see where they're flying and so forth? I can imagine in the future too, if they say, hey, it works for them, then every consumer drone they'll try to track as well. Although this is kind of a good example too, where if you literally try to track everything, like toys and all that too, can you imagine how cluttered the map will look in that regards? Like, I'm sure you could restrict it to say, okay, I only want to see the quote police drones, but still, just in terms of trying to manage the map for things that have no relations to the area, like there's no threat, it will probably be chaotic in that sense. Although with that thought of drones, still a lot of people in war and so forth, and that usually means more productions of war-related drones. How about this one? This one says, Russia reveals super drone at IDEX conference. As it says here, Russia's Rostec State Corp unveiled the Supercam S350 drone at the International Defense Exhibition this week, a super drone responsible for taking out American-made military vehicles. According to the company, the Supercam S350 is a multi-purpose drone with strike coordination, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. It also has long-range communication systems that facilitate coordination with ground operations. Rostec says that the Supercam has played an important role in neutralizing Western forces in Ukraine. The drone's infrared technology and high-resolution video have helped it identify high-value targets like Patriot missile systems and Bradley infantry fighting vehicles. Thanks to the work of the Supercam S350 drones, numerous types of foreign equipment were detected and destroyed, saying, quote, Russian drones have also demonstrated high efficiency in adjusting fire on ammunition depots, temporary deployment points, strongholds and command posts, aerial reconnaissance points, and enemy UAV control points. Rostec also talked up the drone's modular composite structure, which makes the drone easy to transport and assemble in pressure situations. Now, again, I've been reading a bunch of stuff saying they were trying to settle this, for example, like this war and so forth, but this stuff makes it sound like nothing's ending soon anyways. Although it does depend on what you read, I suppose. And with that said, here in Canada, there's all that talk still about the CBC potentially being defunded and all that. But with that in mind, it sounds like they're trying to create a plan of sort to say why they should be funded, I guess, continually. This one says Heritage Minister to present CBC blueprint in bid to shore up Canada's public broadcaster. Heritage Minister Pascal Saint-Onge is set to unveil a blueprint for the future of CBC and Radio Canada on Thursday to underpin the government support for the public broadcaster as a Canadian institution as she prepares to step down as an MP in the next election. The proposals are expected to emphasize the need for a public broadcaster to continue to support local news so that every region of Canada, including remote areas, is covered by reporters on the ground. Ms. Saint-Onge's white paper, which comes as the CBC faces conservative threats to cut its funding, is also expected to reinforce the importance of maintaining French language as well as Indigenous programming. The Heritage Minister has argued that the public broadcaster is crucial to preserve, including as an antidote to misinformation and disinformation online. She also has spoken about the importance of ensuring that all regions of Canada are served with reporters on the ground by CBC and Radio Canada, so there are no news deserts, including in areas where no other media operate. So it's kind of interesting, even as someone on the outside, I actually don't watch, for example, TV news that much anymore. Usually you find what you need online really quickly. And at the same time, just that talk about having, let's just say, reporters everywhere, localized news and all that, it makes me wonder how outdated the actual system is in general, because when I actually looked at some of the reports, for example, like the traditional ones, like always at, let's just say, the evening, it seems like they're actually trying to copy what a lot of people do, let's just say talking heads in social media, so like behind the desk as well, like they're trying to mimic that, but they probably pay, for example, hundreds or thousands of dollars a day just to do that, whereas nowadays, like when you talk about, I guess, a lot of those independent media guys, they're doing everything themselves. They're running out there, they're the cameraman, they're the editor and all that. I mean, a funny example with that, think of it like myself, if I see things like those protests and so forth, and I just happen to capture it, I'm doing everything. I'm filming it, for example, with a regular camera, I'm flying the drone and all that, editing and so forth afterwards. I could imagine, again, how much they'd actually spend money-wise to do the same thing with a more, I guess, traditional media approach. So it's something to think about, in my opinion, actually.
What the heck, already?
Alright, see you guys later.